going to do an update in the garden. It's November the 7th, 2018. It's about to absolutely pour. Rain, that is. So I need to plant some stuff. I've got a heap of stuff I want to get in the ground before this rain comes. If I end up working in the rain, I end up working in the rain. It's going to thunder and lightning, so I don't want to be working out there. So I'll just show you what's going on. So first day I wanted to cut the grass with my line trimmer. I got it out and the back fell off it. So I took it to the mower repair shop and he said, yeah, no problem, we can fix it. It's going to take 5 weeks because every other person's line trimmer and mower broke down that day because it's spring. So the grass is getting a bit out of hand now, but it is what it is. It's fine. Okay, so what have we got going on here? This is Project Deadfall. These are sticks that I have been collecting from just when I'm out and about at my daughter's school, picking her up from school every day, going to the park. I'm not going out of my way to pick that up. It's really, I walk past a stick and I pick it up. Or, you know, this tree's dropped a heap of stuff in a storm, I've just picked it up and put it there. So none of that is off my property. This is going to be for my rocket mass heater to see how much we actually need to burn. Now the other thing with this wood is that you can break it all by hand because it's deadfall. It's not fresh wood off the tree. You need to chop with an axe or anything like that. Even the big stuff, you can just stand on it and pull it. So my sort of what I want to show is that, you know, even a granny can break it. Well, I don't know about a granny, but let's say certainly a grandson or a granddaughter will be able to break it. And I think anyone will be able to do this. No one's got an excuse for going, I don't want to use an axe, I can't split wood, blah blah blah, I haven't got time. Well, you know, this hasn't taken me any time. It's maybe added 30 seconds onto the task I was doing. Or like yesterday I was at the park with Ellie, you know, and she was just playing on a swing and I picked up a bunch of wood and took it home, and it didn't cost me any time. Alright, so what have we got going on? This is going to be Michelle's rose garden. I haven't put a bed in here, but I've got the wood for it, but we had to get the roses in anyway. So they're doing alright. This is the sweet peas, which are a legume plant. I don't know if you know that, just like other peas. So they are pretty, they smell, they make nice cut flowers, and they fix nitrogen into the soil. So this is Michelle's garden up here. What down here? My watering system, my impact system, is working really, really well. It's just on a hose, and if we have guests over and you want to tidy up a bit, you just disconnect, bang, you're away. You just leave that spike in the ground. If it's not working, if there are any issues, you see it, rather than drip irrigation, which I know that it uses less water, but it also splits over time. You go through it with tools, lots of things. So these are some of the plants I want to get in. Some bamboo, some trees. The mulberry has not got any fruit on it this year, unfortunately, because as all the fruit buds appeared and leaves, a gang of cockatoos, I don't know how many of them because I didn't actually see them, but I'm guessing it was cockatoos, absolutely annihilated the tree, and they took every leaf off it, every fruit off it. And because it's going into the fruiting cycle, it's not really put on many leaves. Once the fruiting cycle's finished, you can see that the fruiting cycle's only really just starting. You know, these are brand new, you know. The other tree up there is probably another, that one's getting ripe, that's ready to go. So you're probably looking at another month to 6 weeks before this will really start putting its energy back into leaves. And hopefully we get some shade out of it this year. But even now, because the cockies have started on it, they keep coming back and taking off it. But I took cuttings last year of the mulberry. And you'll see in there, there's one in there. There's one in there. There's a heap, and I'll dig them out. There's one over there and there's a bunch over here, and I'll dig them out and transplant them. And once we've got, you know, 50, 60 mulberry trees down here, it's not such a big deal. We had a pretty rough winter with our wallaby. Even though we had fencing up, she was still getting in. So I think I've conquered that one now and blocked all the holes, but because we're on quite uneven ground and you put fence in, it leaves gaps everywhere. So I've just been putting sticks up against all the holes, and I think I've got it now. We've got a possum too, but we can live with a possum. There's just one, they don't do too much damage. But this citrus tree got walloped by it, and that's coming back good. We had some of the, this mulberry's doing pretty well, but that's a mulberry there. We had a pretty harsh winter, and I don't think we lost anything in the end, which was good. But this is a nice green bean that I thought was dead, and that's coming good. Everything's jumped back into life. We just had some old sweet pea seeds, they got thrown in here. So you know, this is starting to come to the end of its life now here. So once this is done, I'll just cut it. You just cut it off above the root and just throw it in there as mulch, you know. So it just ends up looking like this. This is Venegrass mulch. So I've been cutting this down. This is less than a week's growth here. That was cut on Friday, and now it is Wednesday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days growth. Okay, it's ridiculously fast. Saturday, it was cut on Saturday. Sorry, 3 days growth. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days growth. No rain, although I have done a little bit of watering. What else have we got in here? This is a native indigo. That's a nitrogen fixing legume as well. So I'm just waiting for that seed now. It's been flowering for quite a long time. It's got some seed pods coming on here now. So we'll wait for them to get ripe and we'll harvest those. What's we got? This is a sedge. It's a bit of a weed for me. Been planning out, I think this is pineapple mint or pineapple ginger or something like that, I can't remember. I've just been dividing that up as it grows. What have we got in here? Don't know, but I also planted a lot of seeds, so if I don't recognize something, I'll just let it grow until it gets to the point where I can identify it using a website, or there's a good Facebook group called Plant Identification Australia. People are really quick at getting back to you on what things are. So we'll just let that go. I mean, weeds aren't a problem until they seed, unless they grow by rhizomes, and that doesn't look like the type of thing that grows by rhizomes. This, on the other hand, the sedge does, and you've got to be on that. Whereas that is part of the dandelion family, and it's not, and that's a clover family, and it's not. But this sedge is a bit of a pain, and over here it grows on compressed ground, this is a pathway, so it's always going to be compressed ground. But I've cleared this most days, and within a 24-hour period I'll come back and I'll take out maybe 100 to 150 of these in a 24-hour period. It really does just grow that fast, so you just got to stay on it, unfortunately, until it goes. And that'll be a job. We'll wait till after the rain when it's nice and soft and dig this out a bit. And the reason I don't want to heavy mulch this area is because I'll raise the level, and I don't really want to do that. But I may have to temporarily mulch it quite deeply just to suppress this a bit. But yeah, I'm the only one that gardens, so it's all down to me, unfortunately. Plants. We've got to get this vine in, but I just don't know where to put it. And a lot of these trees are really struggling. That's pretty dead, to be honest. But we'll chuck them in and see what happens. What else have we got going on over here? We've got strawberries. We're not getting many of those. I think the animals are getting those, but hey, it's just part of building a garden up, is the animals are going to take. There's more mulberries here that I want to transplant. Once this fruit cycle's finished, we may as well just pull it off because we're not going to eat it. And it starts putting energy into it. Got cut off there. Yeah, so once the rooting cycle starts again, I'll
move it. There's another one, I don't know if that's taken or if that's dead. It's not looking very healthy, to be honest. We'll see, it's got a bud on it. I just stuck them in the ground, I didn't really go to much effort. And this little mandarin in here that's still looking a bit sick, to be honest. Like it's pretty yellow. We'll see. It's growing. I mean, it's growing new leaves and they're green, so we'll just keep mulching it and see what happens. So I mean, everything's looking pretty healthy. This is still a very much new garden bed over here. So I'm mulching this as I can and get mulch. It's got very thick wood chip on it, but I want it to have banana grass and grasses and those kinds of things. There's a fig there. More sedge just growing up, you know. A good way to get rid of weeds if you're really worried about them, just put them on a rock, or you can put them upside down as well. And in a day they'll be gone, they'll be dead. False marigold. Again, we'll just leave it there. They'll be dead by the end of the day. I've got a feijoa in here with a banana grass protection around it because that got munched to the almost to the ground, so I did actually cut it to the ground, and it's come back now. So it'll be happy in there. Same thing happened to this citrus in here. This got annihilated, and it really hasn't put any leaves on it yet. Any leaves back on yet, unless it's just been getting munched again, but it's got some fruit on it, so we'll just leave this banana grass here just to protect it. Same reason all these ones have got banana grass on them, because they got annihilated. This is all doing pretty nicely down here. This grass is growing very beautifully, and there's a lot of legumes in here, so I've just been going in there and cutting it and dropping it next to the plant. People probably look at this and go, oh my god. But also I've got a lot of legumes in here, some vetch, lots of clovers, you can see, some lupins, and these lupins are all starting to seed now, so I don't want to cut them because I planted these lupins and they haven't taken very well. Like, you know, I've lost 80% going in and throwing them in, so I need to keep seeds of anything that does grow and drop it back in, because, you know, it's starting to acclimatize, get used to these soils. I did have some more trees down there, but they got destroyed, so we need a new plan for that. But, you know, so far so good. It all kind of looks, I think a lot of people, like even Michelle, my wife, can't really see the plants because of the banana grass. She finds it a bit overwhelming, but I love it. I wouldn't garden any other way. I like a jungle. I just want to have a jungle, and these are all sacrificial banana grass plants in here. They're just getting cut down. I've put some more at the back. I want them more at the back than at the front, so I'm training them to do that. And until I've got big trees or big shrubs, they're just going to stay there, you know, because they're just building soil all the time. This part of the garden over here doesn't get watered at all because the seat's over here and the trampoline's over here, so I don't bother to water it. But it seems to be doing okay. I haven't actually put an edge in yet. We'll get there one day. Yep, grass is growing all over there. It's got totally wild, absolutely wild. But the good thing about in there is that there's no rocks, there's no garbage in there anymore because I've cleaned all that out. And I know it looks crazy, but I am actually managing this by hand now. And there are a lot of plants that I've put in there, and I've put stakes on them, so I know where things are. When I hit a stake, I know that there's a plant there, and I can just cut around it with a knife. And you know, the plants are going to be happier that way. You can go in and just chop all the mulch around them and drop it in situ. The vine that's in there, I think I've really lost control of this vine. I just can't I can't get a handle on it. Before I was just pulling it out and dropping it in situ, but I'm not getting control over it. So I started to actually pull it out when I'm over there and chopping and dropping the weeds and the grasses and the legume plants around. I'm actually pulling that out now, and it's sitting on here and it'll dry. So this is the vine. I don't know what it's called. That's Wandering Jew. Both of them take an incredibly long time to dry out. Even on hot iron or concrete, they take weeks and weeks and weeks. Whereas you cut some grass and you put it on hot concrete, and 48 hours, and you can use it as mulch. This literally takes weeks, and I think that's why it's so invasive, because it will grow on a hot tin roof with its roots pulled out. Let's jump down and have a look. It's not a step. So you'll see this has been out for Sunday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, so 3 days. It's still quite green, and you'll probably see if we can squeeze it. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see the green moisture coming out and staining my fingers. This is 10 times worse. So these big things here, look, no, that's alive. They will hold on to moisture for months and months. There's some dead ones. Well, we hope they're dead, but they may still grow, you know. Let's see what, there you go, look. You think it's dead, and then yeah, it's got fresh growth coming out of it. And that's, you know, crazy stuff. So I've got to come up with a solution. I might make like a solar dehydrator, like a giant food dehydrator, but use it for weeds. This is all being cleared yet again. I'm growing some legume plants, some legume trees inside, which I need to plant out because, you know, I've cut all these weed trees down, but yeah, look what happens straight away. You cut down the trees and the herbaceous weeds start to come back. And I don't want oxalis taking over the place. So we need to get some shade back in here with the trees that we want to have. And we can just use this privet as it grows just as a mulch. Like, we don't need to hack it down, we can just do that. If you're going to stay in control of it. I've left some here just to use as mulch. This is onion weed. I don't really like onion weed. Although you can eat it, I believe. It's something I want to stay in control of. It's all mulch, you know, that's the thing. I mean, it's not seeded yet. It's still flowering. So as long as you get those flower heads off, it's good. This is it here. You can smell it. It smells like chives. And it's all mulch. That's the way you've got to think of it, is all mulch. And people taking this stuff away and putting it in their green bin, pointless. That's not going to grow anywhere. So, you know, I can understand it if people can't manage things like Wandering Jew, but yeah, that. But you know, once you've got control on things like Wandering Jew, and you're just pulling out, you know, a handful a week or whatever, if you do stay on top of it. And I've done that with the couch grass up there. Like, it was a problem, and I've managed it, and now I don't have an issue with it. I just maybe pull out 1 to 2 pieces a week, and I just put it on a tin roof or whatever, and it, you know, it'll be dry. It'll be dry in a few days, especially if you can spread it out like this. Bundled up like this is going to take a while. I was thinking in the meantime what I could do is, I've got some bird netting under the house, some more bird netting. I could make like bird netting bags, put this in it and hang it on the fence, so as long as it's not touching the ground, it's got air flowing around it, and the heat will just cook it. Like, a lot of people want to put this in, put weeds in bags in water and kill them that way, and it might work with some plants, but you know, you often hear people or see people propagating plants by putting them in a glass of water in the kitchen until it grows roots. So, you know, if you do that, it grows roots. So soaking something, you gotta soak it for like 6 months before you're gonna kill it. So I go with the sun-dried version of it, and I know you're gonna have seeds in it, but hey. So this is getting better, and like I cleared this by hand in here, and like again, you know, there's privet. When I say hand, I mean with a, you know, a machete and a knife and things like that. So yeah, it's all free mulch. The things we don't want, we'll just pull up and leave it. It's wild, but it's getting there. We put a wheelie bin down here now because there's still so much shit in this garden, literally just garbage from the previous owners, that they just threw garbage everywhere. So we can just keep this here and just fill it as we find it. You'll see like bits of tarps and building materials and things like that. Got some legume trees growing in here, which I need to let go. Same reason as that I've been clearing in here, and now these ground weeds are coming in. Well, these grasses that I don't really want. I just kind of want a mulchy, rough forest here. Look, there's a legume growing in there, just like that. But we'll just, you know, and just weed around them or her. Oh no! Oh! I pulled it up by accident. Never mind. There will be more. Anyway, there's another one. Look, there. Okay. So we'll just make sure that we pull the weeds up around it and then drop it. I don't know if these are a grass or for this. I can't even remember. Agapanthus? No, I don't think they're agapanthus. Okay, so we'll just use this as mulch for this little baby. And soon that'll shade all these other things out. Here's some cooch in here. Oh, maybe that's native. That's a native one. I don't like that either. I mean, it's not as big a problem as cooches. Okay, they'll keep that one quite happy. And we just do stuff like that. Keep our, look, lots of legumes growing up here. So hopefully we get some more rain. And I think that's enough waffling, really. Okay, thanks for watching.